Bam. We're in. We're in. What do we got? We got somebody? Awesome. We got audio coming in? What's up, boys? One day I'll figure out how to use this shit.
You got all these wires here.
Yeah. That seems good.
Yeah.
Okay, what's up, everybody?
You have too much shit almost.
I know. Almost
and
too
then
much
you buy
shit.
new shit.
Cheers, boys.
King.
Donk.
Donk.
We got people coming. Oh, Ty's coming in. What, you got a movie on out there?
There's no movie.
Oh, will you get Ted to put a movie on for you? And then also, will you clean those windows? Because that shit is nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Bonjour, JD. What's up, everybody? First shout out of the night goes to Frank Tomaszewski. My day off today, right? Took the day off. Thought it would be beautiful. I went down to the lake. I got Ale a new kayak for Christmas. Put her in the water. Dropped her off. Picked her back up when she was done. And then, went all the way down to the center, high-centered my truck out. So I spent my day off digging my ass out of the sand until Frank came down, also got stuck, and then our neighbor actually rescued both of us. So thanks to you, Frank. How's everyone else's day? Don't laugh at me.
Not that exciting.
I feel bad because I was stuck doing stuff in Dallas.
He made up a goddamn excuse. I can tell you that.
I was picking up product in Dallas, and you're like, "Hey, can you come get me?" I'm like,
"Oh, you know what's it? My tires are bald.
My tires are bald. That would not have helped us all."
He's got 500 miles on his truck, and he's like,
500 miles? There's 6,000 miles on that thing.
Nebraska's in Texas. Piss off, man. We don't have beaches, nor do you have beaches in Texas.
We got different kinds of beaches.
We got beaches.
You got beaches? Big beaches? Little beaches?
Big booty beaches?
Del Cadre, there's a whole coastline.
Sounds like big beaches to me.
You need to go south.
If you've been to Mama's Daughters down in Dallas, you see some big beaches there too.
Oh shit! What's up, everybody? This is Cigar Talk Live. We've got the Marks with us. Rogers.
McClurkin, aka Pumpkin.
And also
Nathan.
Mark Franks.
What?
Tonight.
Mark? What?
We're the Marks.
We're the Marks.
Mark Frakes.
We don't have a Mark Frakes in our family, do we?
You do now.
Would he be out? McClurkin, what you smoking down there?
Patoro Brazil.
Ooh, nice. I haven't had that in a while.
Damn nice smoke.
Damn nice smoke. You like it?
Oh yeah.
Everybody, we coming in okay, nice and clear here? Rogers, I think you're winning the table right now.
With the old bandolero.
Call the sauce.
What do you get out of that cigar? Let's get the cigar talk out of the way.
Ooh.
This is called Dead Air.
Yeah, this one's a little earthy, a little creamy. This one's smooth. This one's
The red label's the way to go, right?
Yeah.
That's
See, I lean toward the Peruvian.
yeah. Well, that's because you like the funk. You like absinthe too.
This one's
That's-
straight medium.
Yeah.
Occasional absinthe.
I don't like absinthe, but I still smoke those.
No, absinthe. The drink that
Jesus.
it's the worst drink on the planet.
It's terrible. No, I've had it.
Well, you just have to make it right.
Was that like designer?
Like 12
Everclear or
pounds of
something?
sugar in it, and
Well, you know, sugar cube and 3-to-1 water. If you drink it straight, you may as well just
if I have
yourself.
to, die.
That's how I drank it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do it that way. You even gave me sugar cubes. I put the sugar directly into it, and it didn't help it. But I didn't realize until after we killed the bottle that it was 3-to-1 water to absinthe. Because it was like battery. I mean, it's like 9-volt battery acid.
And you
yeah,
finished
it's
the bottle?
Yeah, I mean, not me by myself, but we did.
Ale? She was pregnant with
Ollie's
me.
a pussy. No. Oh, see, Evan Hurst coming. Stuff is awful. Dude knows.
Mm-hmm.
You're drinking scotch tonight, like a.
So I am drinking scotch tonight. The Balvenie.
The Balfini.
And my mission is
Yeah.
how quickly we can get Nathan drunk right now.
We can do that.
How quickly? It's your Saturday.
Yeah, well,
What's my record? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. What is your record?
fastest drunk.
I've seen this guy kill a case of beer and not be even phased. But I've also
Like
seen
Andre
you,
the Giant. Anybody want a peanut?
But I've also seen you drink one glass of wine and get giggly.
No, was that with Elliot?
Maybe.
Then it was not one glass of wine. It was he kept pouring it while I put my hand down, and I realized I never asked for another drink, and I never finished it. So
Same glass.
yeah, it was
Like-
the same glass. It
Sounds
was
like you got
just.
roofied.
It does sound like you got roofied. I'm gonna be
And if
honest.
it was Elliot, it probably was. There's a good chance.
Yeah, amen. JD Mars coming in. Wait, y'all actually talk about cigars on here? No.
No.
Very little.
I'm going to be honest. We haven't really found the identity of the show because I thought we did until you were explaining what this show is, and it's just Saturday at the shop on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I thought,
With nothing upcoming.
yeah, we just don't talk about
we
the
don't
shop.
talk about like new cigars that are coming to the shop this week, or that's all for
Educational
Saturday
material, no slapping each other. We don't talk about events. We just
Rigid
smoke a
policy.
cigar. That's all we do. Is we just. And I'm curious, Brad, what's up, dog? How's that little lay years going? I'm curious, who is smoking a cigar right now, and what are you smoking? That's what I want to know. Not to the people in the world. Nate, take the next segment, shall you?
What was that? Was that English?
All right, what are you smoking?
The Bull and Bear by Crocs. Real smooth. Full
Crowd
body.
favorite here lately.
Yeah.
Bullet. I've noticed that it's really gone back. It's starting to uptick again.
I smoke a lot of them. That's just my daily
I
cigar.
mean, once the new branding launch hit, that thing was
It was.
took off like crazy, and then
We looked at it. It went. I think it was like 300%.
Yeah, the Crux line in here was like a 320% increase, but the Bull and Bear, I think it's the one I'm most proud of because it is the one before it was just kind of this greenish, bluish thing with some bears on it, and then that with a herringbone with that blue off of that Colorado wrapper.
that thing.
That's
It-
the
that thing took
look.
off.
It
Yeah.
did take me a while to figure out like that was the Bull and that was the Bear on.
Yeah, it's an
just
optical
because the
illusion.
first print, I think, because the silver that background didn't print right at first, and then it was, but it's awesome.
It's
a
awesome.
great smoke.
No, it's great.
It's a great cigar.
So, tits or ass? Which one do you guys like better?
Yes.
I'm adding a new one to the big three because we've got important questions, but I don't want to make this completely a Bigfoot show because McClurkin is there. So I want to put it in another more
We
important.
talk about hog hunts.
Absolutely.
And you're just an absolutely. That's you. Why not both? Brad McGaw asks.
Yeah, that's a fair question.
Yeah.
Why not both?
Nate.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Good. Rogers.
Yeah, both. Depends on whether they're coming or going, right?
Tell you what, this is a pretty smart show right now.
The IQ in this room is just
Oh my God! Why not both?
negatives.
Yeah, I'm glad you're on. Like, I don't know what this dividing line is, but that's not the small side of the room.
Well, the camera's actually at an angle like this. We just changed it because we recentered this whole place.
All right, so what do we? Okay, JD coming in. I'm working.
I'm
Wish
all-
I could smoke in my home
what you
office. Smoked one this morning. Can't remember what it was. Smoked a Monte Cristo Monte this evening hunting. Was okay. Amen. Won both at a cigar Christmas party.
One.
What's
Both
a-
cigars.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you been?
Good on you.
All right. So think about Rapper's Delight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where
Macaroni soggy, the peas all mush, and the chicken tastes like wood.
right. So think about a cigar where the chicken tastes like wood. Have you been gifted a cigar that has just been so bad, but you've been in front of somebody, so you just had to finish it because of the person you're in front of?
Well, now because I deal with a lot of the reps here, I don't have a filter for that, so I just go, yeah, it's just shit. Because you don't want to waste people's time, so now that's a natural, like,
Yeah.
unless it's like if he gave me a cigar, so Mark's been actually making his own cigars, so he'll be like, just tell me what it is, so I have to tell him. You know, it's like,
Yep.
it's not good or it is good. But
Have you been
I don't
gifted
know.
a cigar that you just had to power through because you like the person?
Oh yeah, several times. Like the Man of Wars,
Mm.
a little harsh, more ammonia than a litter box.
Is
The
that
Man of
made-
War, is that Anganorsa?
That's Aganorsa, but that's made for, I think, CI.
Yeah.
I think that's for their
The-
website.
oh, it is the CI
Yeah.
half stick.
That's their
Or
one
one
of their
It was
branded ones.
A little bit harsh.
I've been given cigars, but I always have cigars if I'm going places, parties and things. I always bring some just in case, right? Most of the time you don't get to smoke them, but I always have them. So, but I've been given a cigar. It's a Rocky. I'm not a huge fan of Rockies, but I make up this. Oh, I gotta put it in my humidor and let it age for a minute. I do that with all my cigars. I come up with some real fluff so I don't offend them. But
So you
also
run
don't
your character down before you offend them.
right, so I don't have to smoke their cigar. 'Cause I put all my cigars in the humidor for at least a month before I smoke them. Get all
And then purposely forget about it.
and then I still have. It was like 5 years ago. It's still in my humidor.
Probably
Might be good now.
Probably good
Well,
now.
you're right.
Might be good now.
That's the point of the question: is what type of person are you? I think you and I are the same. I would rather just run my character down and act like a hipster around somebody for them to talk bad about me about
get all cigar
with their
snob
life,
on them for a minute. Whatever.
just so I could truly be a cigar snob. But I just didn't want to tell them, "Hey, man, I'm not gonna smoke that right now."
Oh yeah. Oh.
I'd rather sit on an ant farm. like fire ants. like you just.
I tell you, it's. You're right, though. I think that's the way to go.
Mhm.
And by bringing cigars, you get to be the steward of it.
I guess it might depend on who gives it to you too. I mean, if it's somebody that you know or are comfortable enough with saying, that's shite stick, I'm not smoking that. You can have it. Here's one of mine. Why don't you have this one? And give them one. But
So, JD coming in, Patrick Carmichael hooked up, unsuspecting that it was a Punisher. You know what a Punisher is?
That's a big ass.
No, the Punisher is the one that Sean Ratz has, and now this could be the same one, but it's infused with jalapeno.
Oh, that one.
doesn't
yeah.
really sound good to me.
Yeah, that one's.
I almost just defriended Sean Ratz at that moment.
Yeah.
And then I asked for more, so I could do that to my friends.
You're a dick. But just for a minute.
That's when I teach them how to retrohale. Like, oh man, is that bad? Like, no, it'll get easier. Just keep working on it.
Retrohale the whole thing.
Oh, so JD says there's one with ghost pepper.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Come on.
They
now.
had that at the last trade show, and the guy was like trying to hand it to me. I went, nope, I'm not even gonna try it.
Really?
Yeah, I was
It's
like,
like
no.
gag cigars or something, like the jelly beans.
It's gotta be.
I just the vomit tasting.
Yeah, that's
Because I think
foolish.
I don't remember if it was like Matt Booth did one or something like that. One of
Can't
those
be a
guys
market for
did
that.
one, and it was they literally put the juice of the peppers on the wrapper leaf.
Hell no.
It's
No,
just it's
come on
so
now. Come on, man.
That's just
Yeah.
like dipping one in something flavored.
Yeah, but like-
yeah, but
Dip it in absinthe.
I would rather do that. yeah,
It might just disintegrate if you let that.
dipping it in gasoline, you might as well.
It just turns bright.
It's like whoops.
What's up, everybody? It says it makes your lips go and tongue go numb for 15 to 20 minutes.
Why?
It's exciting.
Hey, man. Worst cigar you've ever smoked?
Oof. A lot of samples we've had though, but I don't have names to them. And it's just, and I can't even remember the names of the companies either. So we just get a lot of samples in, and they're just stuff that
I smoked
there's some that
one.
are okay, but it just tastes like you're smoking burnt tobacco leaf.
I smoked
Nothing.
one that somebody gave. So they were in Florida, and it was like hand rolled, and one of those deals. And they gave me one, and
Oh yeah.
it was just fucking awful.
It was.
It was terrible. I don't even know. I mean, it wasn't banded. It was just one of those hand rolled.
Probably rolling it on the street.
They
the
probably
sun's
told me it was
hitting it all
Cuban.
day long.
It's probably a Cuban roller, but
That's my favorite thing. I love when everyone is like, nah, I smoke hand rolls. Bitch, everything in that humidor is hand rolled.
Yeah.
and I'm sure there's places down there that have some decent
Machine
tobacco,
roller.
and when you get one rolled, and it's good. But this particular one was not.
The worst one that I ever had was at a trade show. It was with Pops. It was who's the company that uses Davidoff leaf, but it's like a Russian style? Hammer and Sickle.
Oh yeah.
Hammer and Sickle had one that they aged and smoked the tobacco inside of peat moss.
Which is
Gross.
not good.
Oh no, it was way worse
That's
than
like
it sounds.
pungent.
It was pungent. It was like a burnt Band-Aid. It was Pops smoked.
Yeah.
He smoked an eighth of an inch, gave up. And I was like, I'm getting through all this. We're gonna make it. And we're in Vegas for the show. We're going to the Beatles Love show, and I got legitimately with full intent to smoke the whole thing. Absolute punishing myself. I got this far. I had to walk from it. Had to, like, to the point where I'm crying type, and we just diverted on the way to the Love show to a Walgreens to get one of those, you know, the small little toothbrushes that have the thing. So I brushed my teeth on the strip just so I didn't have to taste it anymore. The hands down worst cigar I've ever smoked. The worst. Mark, what's the worst one you've smoked?
It was a little factory in Key West that everybody kept recommending. Went in, bought a whole box of their cigars, just to help out a local business. Holy crap, that was bad. I mean, it was like you wanted to lick the sidewalk just to get that taste out of your mouth. It was awful. I've never before or since have I smoked anything that bad.
What was it now? What was the experience like? If you could sum it up, because right now you're going through the testing and you're understanding the flavors and so what was that experience like?
Jarring. It was so bad that all I could do on second draw, I'm trying to spit everything out that I can. I'm drooling. It's like you just licked a can of bear spray or something. It was awful.
But you do that every week.
Well, Dustin Carter's over here. He's watching videos of
Bear
dudes
spray's good.
smoking bongs with dried Carolina Reapers in them. Oh, could you imagine?
Oh my!
The internet is
A
currently
crime right now.
undefeated. Ronnie, what's up, dog? What's up, dog? Hit share if you're watching this. God damn. Yeah, worst cigar. Best cigar experience. Best cigar experience, not best cigar.
Oh, that's easy. Going to dinner in Vegas with Nelson Alfonso, where we shut the whole the restaurant down and then sat with him and we just talked cigars and drank and hung out with him. By
In
far
a
the
non-smoking
coolest-
area.
In a non-smoking section. The time what would have made it cooler was like the time we went before with Elliot and they moved the people away from us.
They let us smoke.
They let us smoke in the restaurant and they're just like, yeah, no, we'll just move everybody else out of the way. But that was the most cool experience. But because I sat and actually got to have, because when we do stuff with Nelson here, I mean, everybody's asking him something, and it's we get our highs in, hugs, but to actually sit down and have a one-on-one conversation without everybody coming up to him was a cool thing. Because, I mean, he has a conversation with everybody, but we were sitting and having a true conversation about his cigars and his tobacco and his life and all that stuff. That was just a cool experience.
Now think about this. That restaurant is closed.
I know, it sucks.
But it
was
makes
my
that dinner
favorite-
better.
It does. That was my favorite restaurant of all time.
Agreed.
It was by far. the
Costa
most
de
fun.
Mare. That
Costa
was
de Mare.
incredible.
And they had that. That's where we had Batar wine for the first time, which is that white wine that we had.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, that was that stuff that Elliot brought, that big bottle of.
Uh-huh.
That was where we had that the first time. That was super rare, but yeah, I love that wine.
Good
But,
shit.
but no, that was the coolest experience. I can't believe they shut that down. They shut it down right after the week after we left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had one of the final meals
We had
there.
one of the final meals.
Oh, bastards.
Punk bitches.
Rogers.
Oh, there's they're all different. So the first time I ever smoked an Atabay years ago, it's on my birthday and I was off, so I came up here at like 10 o'clock and grabbed an Atabay, said, did my first Atabay, and your brother was working and he put me back here and put on my headphones, and I was the only one here, and smoked that whole Atabay, listening to music. Didn't have to talk to anybody, just that was a pretty cool experience. And then New Year's several years ago, we used to go to the lake house, and again, I was by myself. I don't know what everybody was doing. I didn't care. Had a bonfire, big bonfire going, and it was just drizzling snow a little bit, and it was a cool, moment.
Just comfortable in that moment.
Yeah, I don't even know what cigar I was smoking, but I was just sitting there with a good scotch and a cigar, and like, this is a cool moment kind of feeling, you know. Like,
That's awesome.
Please, nobody come out here and
Mess it up.
Dad, you know. But they didn't, so good on them.
Yeah, good on them. Oh, that moment. You get that hour that they didn't come bug you.
Yeah, and you could just, you know, just everything shut off. I didn't have my phone, you know, just me and a fire and a cigar.
Yeah, you're out of trank darts at home, so you don't get that.
Yeah, I'm out of trank darts. I was gonna go get go Costco, get a gallon of Dimetap to give to the kids.
Benadryl works great.
Yep,
Benadryl does?
Yeah, Benadryl and cherry coke.
Yep.
So you mix that together?
Yeah, they can't even taste it.
How old? Like, can they be 2? Can I give a 2-year-old Benadryl?
Just go easy on it. You'll be good.
Start small.
Small?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Honestly. Like, I didn't know if I'm showing anything under my eyes, but I can tell. I'm not gonna. This is not the time to talk about that. But if you're telling me that there's a potential, look,
It's good for plane rides.
plane rides. I didn't realize
It's
Dimetap.
questionable parenting, probably.
No, it isn't.
I'm
Hey,
sure
did you drug your kids? See, you're a
It's
good
like
person. You drug your kids?
Yeah.
yeah.
She's still
Good.
alive.
There's no
so
kind
yeah.
of sort of. It's,
Okay.
yeah, I did it once or
It's
twice.
does that moment cross your mind where you're like, what if this goes wrong?
You just give them a small.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, well, excellent.
As long as you
That's
go
what's
by the
happening.
I think it
Directions are
crosses
fine.
your mind in retrospect more than in the moment. In the moment, like, you don't give a shit. Like, how do you make it stop, right? That's
I've been in the pantry and gone, if this goes wrong, this is not premeditated, right? I'm drugging my kids right now. And then there's been so many times I've taken the melatonin gummies, and instead of just like going to give them my kids, I just ate them. I was like, fuck it, one of us is sleeping. and Ali sent me a picture with the lid cracked open, and she's like, what happened to all of these? And I said, don't sweat it.
Yeah.
Don't ask those questions. I mean, I ate all the melatonin
You don't
gummies.
need
I
to
didn't
know.
drug the kids, which she would have probably been cool with.
Melatonin's natural, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not drugging your kids at that
yeah,
point.
you'll be out of that zone before you know it. It's a short-lived period of time. Just
Doesn't feel like
I mean,
it right now.
you know, raising kids is a lot like getting plucked to death by chickens. It's a slow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a slow whipping.
That's the best analogy I've ever heard.
Especially in your
Right now,
period
they're just-
right now. Yeah.
Right
With the
now,
littles, yeah,
just peck it.
yeah. They peck less the older they get.
Oh.
They peck harder, but they peck less.
I'll take it. I'll enjoy where I'm at right now, but I just want to chop the chicken's head off at times, you know. It is what it is. So let's move forward. What's your best cigar experience ever?
Cuban punch on a beach in Honduras after a shark dive.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Shark dive.
Shark dive.
Shark dive. Really? What kind of sharks?
These were mostly just nurse sharks, but you know, it's
And
still
where?
fun.
Honduras?
Honduras.
Yeah,
It's mostly nurse sharks that came in. Had a
Nothing-
few little other things.
it's in the
but nothing
Caribbean
Punch-
still, so there's
punching
nothing
bull
violent.
sharks in the
Nothing
face.
violent there. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just fun. You know, it was because nothing's going to eat you there. You're pretty laid back. It's just you sit back, chill, watch them feed the sharks. So nice, peaceful time underwater. Go out to the beach, fresh Honduran coffee waiting on me. Cuban cigar. It was fantastic.
Oh, that sounds good. And that little buzz you get after a dive.
Yeah.
It's and now
I
I know
don't know
nothing.
so much.
I've dove, you know, I can count on 2 hands, right? I mean, and you've dove. Did you know Rogers is a dive master?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, instructor.
You cocksucker! Look how you said that.
Well, there's a different. I mean,
Yeah.
So dive master is what?
So, well, I mean, there's open water, advanced, rescue, dive master, then instructor. Then master diver trainer is actually where I stopped, which is an instructor plus 5 specialties. So I could teach you how to dive, and then I could teach specialties night diving, deep diving, navigation diving, wreck diving, and I don't remember what the other one was. But yeah,
So the master, you forgot.
yeah. But I stopped logging dives at 1,000.
Jesus.
Just because fucking why?
Okay.
I would only log the if I went on a dive that was particularly cool or neat or something, I would log it. But there was an issue with a student or something. But
So what is there a fish? Is there an animal? Is there a species that you enjoy the most when you're underwater?
just having life, because I did a lot of lake diving where you don't you see as much. So when you go to the Caribbean or something, just like fish tank, with just all kinds of different life is pretty cool.
What's JD's asking? Coolest place you ever dove?
Most of my diving's been in the Caribbean, all over the Caribbean, and there's some really great diving in the Caribbean. I mean, to be honest with you, it's phenomenal. But Grand Cayman, Belize is pretty cool.
Love Grand Cayman. It's a fantastic spot to dive.
Yeah, I mean, Stingray City's not. I guess that's a tourist thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 12 feet of water. It's like
Oh, so you
could
scuba
snorkel
diving.
that.
You're
oh, they do.
snorkeling.
They have a
Snorkeling.
diving one in 12 feet of water, and they have a non-diving one in like 4 or 5 feet of water.
So you're just picking up these little ones that don't have stingers in it.
Yeah, they're all conditioned. It's like some of these shark dives that he was talking about, where they feed them. I mean, they show up when the food's there. They show up and they eat, and then they leave. And they're so conditioned they don't even mess with you. But it is pretty cool. Although I did see the hammerhead schooling in
That would be cool.
in the flower gardens. Yeah,
Thousands of them.
That was thousands of hammerheads.
Yeah, I've seen the video.
And that was like a little eerie, because you're not like, what the hell?
Because you sit.
That's the first hammerhead I'd ever seen, and there's thousands of them.
Because usually the videos I've seen of them, you sit below them and they're just circling,
You're just kind of
and they just kind of.
Well, they're all moving, but you're on the bottom, and you just
Oh,
they're
yeah, they're
all
going
just
this
moving,
way.
but there's just like
Yeah,
thousands
right.
of them.
You just kind of do the couch sit and just watch them.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
that's pretty cool.
The Flower Gardens is a fantastic
Yeah.
dive.
where's Flower Gardens?
Off Galveston.
Middle of the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh really?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like it's a reef. It's about 75 miles out.
Yeah, it's an overnight. So you go down to Galveston or Freeport, wherever the boats leave, and you get on at like 6 in the evening, and then you sleep, and then when you wake up, you're there. And they're like 100-foot boats, so it's a small crew, but it's really fun.
Oh man, that sounds like
pretty
blast.
cool.
And it's off the U.S., so you're not messing with somebody else's regs.
Yeah.
You're not,
Yeah,
not a bunch of
yeah.
Mexicans that are.
It's about the same
Oh,
thing
he's
as-
good, man.
It's about the same thing as the fishing trip in Mexico, where you got on the bus and
Yeah.
they wake up in the morning, you're there, and then
You got on a bus. You drove through Mexico. Okay, you drove from Guadalajara to Michoacan.
Not only that, I did that when I was sick, so I was on a lot of medicine and I passed the fuck out. So I was.
They call that tierra caliente. That is.
And we were on the Drug Runner Lake when we were fishing, so there's that.
Yeah, you went through a lot of sketch there.
But-
You.
The only white guy there. Oh, I'm sorry,
So-
2 white guys there.
So Blake's asking the biggest catfish I ever saw lake diving. I was in Lake Travis on the dam, and I saw a catfish that I swear was as big as me. When it took off, it freaked me out for a second. But I mean, you could feel the water as the
Oh,
thing
yeah.
went by me. That thing was huge. Like I didn't know what it was for a second. It was so big. I mean, the head on that thing was
Oh yeah, that's flathead.
Whoa.
fucking creepy.
Whoa.
Pretty big one.
My favorite story when we sat and hung out, and I learned a bit about your history and where you started. My favorite story about you diving has nothing to do with you really scuba diving, but when you used to steal golf balls and you got caught. Have you heard this?
Yeah.
This is one of the coolest things. So, what was this situation? How did this play out?
So I used to do a lot of golf ball diving in high school and college, and that's how I paid for part of my college. And so I had rights to the courses, but they don't let you go out there once a month, and you get a golf cart, and you do it during the day. But I would do it at night, like 2 o'clock in the morning. The other 2 weeks, just stealing balls basically. And I got caught by, I think, a homeowner probably ratted me out. And I come up out of the water, and there's a security guard or cop, I don't know which one, and some homeowner or whatever. And so I went back down and took all you got like 50 pounds of weight on, so you stay down the bottom, and took golf balls off, took all my scuba gear off my tank, and I just came up out of the water and took off running on the opposite side of it. It wasn't a very big tank of water, but I knew where they were, so I was on the other side. I came out and I took off. And, ran across the course, jumped a fence, down the side of a house, jumped a fence, and just did the fence jumping thing for a couple streets. The security guys following me. And I got full wetsuit, head to toe, so I'm all black. After about 3 streets, I jumped a fence and then jumped into some bushes in the front yard of somebody's house. He comes stumbling out there, and he can't see me. He's looking for me, and I'm just sitting there in these bushes, all, turned away, all black, can't see me, and he starts running off down the street, and I just ran back, jumped the fence, jumped back across the course to my truck, and took off. And I went back like 2 weeks later and got my stuff.
So you did get your stuff back.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
yeah. I
so
mean, I had a couple
$200
$100 in my regulator was what I really wanted, because the tank I didn't care about, but my regulator, that was a
So what'd you say when you went back? That's the
I went back in the middle of the night again. And,
oh, you went. So they just left it there?
well, yeah,
It was in the water.
I missed that part. Okay.
In the water, yeah.
I thought you said you got out, pulled it off, and got the fuck out of there. I was like,
No.
like, shit, those lazy pricks left it on the damn
No,
tank.
it was in the water. It was but that's some of the worst diving, though. I mean, it sounds fun, and golf balls are like. I mean, I had the bags like potato sacks full of golf balls. I'd wait till I'd fill up my whole truck and then drive to Houston and sell them. But in the meantime, I would take the good ones out and use them as barter in college. I mean, went to the movies for free and never paid for pizza. It was but it's miserable. The reason I was wearing wetsuit, full head to toe wetsuit, I mean, it was hot in the water, but leeches are.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I got wetsuit head to toe. But it was that situation was definitely sketchy. I mean, that was like adrenaline was like on the rivet, man. I was shit, just running. And I was in shape then. I was playing soccer, so I could run for
Were you
days.
running with your flippers on?
No, you don't wear them when you're doing that.
When you're doing that,
I can see you trying to go like long strides and son of a bitch, get these.
145 pound Mark Rogers ripping through the golf course.
Yeah.
Flip.
No.
Sounds like a fucking sea lion coming through there.
It was definitely sketchy there it's touch and go there for a minute.
What's up, Susan Kirby? Dustin, you had the Call of Duty Rose skin on.
Yeah.
That's what you had
sea
on.
camo.
Sea cam.
Nate, you need to get dives certified.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You only got to do it once,
Yeah.
and it's for life, which I find irresponsible.
Very.
All you got to do is show up with your card or without your card.
Well, now
It's
in
like, I'm
Texas, it's
certified.
constitutional carry, so you just have to get a gun, and you can carry a gun. So
Is that how it works now?
yeah, you don't have to have a license to do it. You just
Concealed?
Can't, yeah, you can do it open and concealed, but you don't have. There's
You can
certain
just have a
places.
gun now?
There's certain places you can't walk into without a license. You didn't know that?
Where's he been?
I don't know.
How long did that go out? 3 months ago? No, it's more than that, wasn't it?
Well, they were talking about it. Yeah,
Oh,
it
what's
went into
September?
effect
I'm sorry.
September 1st, but I mean, it was a done deal.
Yeah,
long
you can
before
carry
that.
your gun now.
Oh man,
You
things
just
are
can't.
about to
You
change
can't
for
take
me
it
now.
into churches and
Well, all those
30
rules, all those rules,
51%, but it's 30
30-6 signs you can't.
What's the 30-8? That's the one that they just.
Well, there's 6 and 7.
There's 6 and 7, but 30-8 is no constitutional carry. I think something like that.
But I mean, it's schools,
They just added that whole thing on there. I don't know.
Schools, courthouses, police stations, federal buildings
Where you shouldn't
normal,
have probably a
right?
gun.
I mean,
Yeah,
normal
like when
stuff.
you asked me, "Can I borrow your gun for church one time?"
Can't take it into bars.
Okay,
Hang
hang on.
You actually can carry in church now.
You can now.
Okay.
But they did it where you could, and then you couldn't, and then you can.
Oh my goodness! ICC dive trip to Cuba. Is there good? I would imagine it's pretty unmolested waters in Cuba. I wouldn't test their.
Pretty good.
I
I
wouldn't.
mean, they're probably pretty
I
molested
would
people,
not
but-
trust the regs in Cuba.
No,
you
you
might bring
definitely,
your own.
you definitely need to bring your own
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Take a BC, because I went diving when I was in Cuba the last time. Take your BC, take your regulator, good to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
You just don't
that'd
travel
be
with
cool.
weights or tanks. I mean, that's.
Yeah,
But what about the Dominican? Does that have good diving?
should. I haven't.
Yeah, I've never been there.
I'd prefer to go to the Dominican.
Yeah.
Smoke good
They-
cigars.
It'd probably
And,
be fantastic diving.
oh yeah.
I think when
Cuba's just
St. Martin would have been fun
untouched.
because when we went out to that, we went way too far.
we got.
And then we saw the Barracuda that was pretty close, and that was cool. Wasn't expecting because we're looking down this way, and then it was the massive drop off, went black, and
Yeah.
then we looked up and went, "That's a Barracuda."
I do remember that.
I don't know if those things attack, but probably not.
Not unless you got something sparkly.
I-
Yeah,
all
I've
I know is
seen-
those
I've seen a bunch
motherfuckers-
of barracuda, and they've never
I just know they got some sharp teeth.
really come
Yeah.
out for me.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I've heard
mo-
they get aggressive though.
Most of the sea life is like life above ground.
Yeah.
If you don't mess with it, it won't mess with you. But if you go poking at it and you irritate it, then
So
you
here's
get what you get.
here's what happened. Ale and I did a liveaboard for our honeymoon, and we stayed on the boat for I don't know 4 days, 5 days, something like that. We lived on it, and we did like Phi Islands. We did that stuff in the Andaman Sea in Thailand. Well, they did a whole model shoot, the liveaboard before us. But the model shoot was doing model shoot with this moray eel. Big
Oh,
green.
fuck yeah.
They
That's
just,
huge.
they're really demeaning looking. They're very scary looking. If you come up over the top of the reef and that thing's just looking at you,
Yeah.
just breathing on you, that is
Yeah,
terrifying.
if you
to
go
me.
on night dives, they actually come out. At night.
We saw that when we did a night cave dive. Well, what we found out was the model, to get it out so she could take the photo with the moray eel, was giving hot dogs. And then after they gave hot dogs, she took the photo and stuck her finger out. But the moray eel thought that was a hot dog and lopped her finger off. Clean off.
You watched that happen?
I wasn't there.
Oh,
It was the
God.
one before, but they were telling us about it, and they're like, so hey, keep your fingers in because we just had someone get their finger cut off or eaten off, and they said the way how clean it was. Now you're 30, 40 feet underwater, getting your finger bitten off while you're underwater didn't have any
The
mask.
full face.
Oh,
So now
it's
you
like
have-
not for effect of the photo.
Right.
but
So
for
they
that.
pulled everything off.
Yeah.
So she's blind. No gear, just underwater floating. Gets her finger cut off. Now you have to put mask on, clear it, get oxygen
Oh,
in her
no.
mouth, and then get her
Oh.
to a safety stop because they've been underwater for a while. Imagine how stressful that moment would be. Because
how far were they down?
I don't know, 30, 40 feet. Enough down, and they were down.
That's
you have
enough to give you bends on the way up, right?
Right. So they had to take her up to a safety stop. So you're just sitting there bleeding without a finger, but they were under long
Just
enough that
enough
they had a
for
safety stop.
reef sharks to come at you.
It was
Oh God!
of all the things you could do. That's
Terrifying.
yeah. So they told us that before our first dive. So then every little moray eel, I was terrified. I was like, oh, that guy's coming for my dick. So that's.
Maybe that's not a bad thing. She's stuck having fucking kids.
Maybe I should just cut a hole in my wetsuit and just let the thing hang out. Here, little moray eel.
Don't need no more kids.
Yo, so we should do that dive trip as well.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Anywhere.
So,
Yeah,
Let's
but
see some
this
moray
flower
eels.
garden sounds like actually attainable. We could go out there and go do that hammerhead dive.
That'd be cool.
You'd want to be advanced certified for water.
Oh, you do need to be.
Yeah,
Because it's so deep.
it's a little. It's not.
How deep is
different.
it?
8 feet?
It's deep out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's 80 feet. Oh, that's.
Yeah, it's
But
You're-
a dive trip, like an ICC dive trip, if that thing ever happened, it would be more fun at like Cozumel or.
Yeah.
You could do 2 dives in the morning and then hang out on the beach and smoke cigars or whatever.
And
then
also
after-
throw up inside of your.
yeah, you could do that.
which happened to you.
Which happened, and you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you
It's all about problem solving.
But you clear your stuff. You were telling me about that.
Oh,
You're like, you did it so quick, and you just cleared it out, got the hell out of there.
I mean,
You hang on to it, right?
Yeah,
you
you
keep the bit
keep
and
it
throw
in
it through it.
Yeah.
While staying gritted on your teeth.
No, you can hold it in.
Oh,
You
really?
don't have to. I didn't really bite. My mouthpiece had this piece that went on the roof of your mouth, and I would hold it in with my tongue most of the time. Your jaw gets tired biting on it. You don't really
How
bite
your
on it.
teeth feel so funky after the dive.
Yeah, they give you like cotton mouth, just some breathing compressed air. It's even worse with nitrox. If you have more O2 in there, you just get cotton mouth. I'd just take it out and let salt water get in there, and then put it back in, and salt water clears cotton mouth pretty.
Nate, I think you would love it. I think you would love it. Just
That
that
cannon.
diving when you stop using your hands and just figure out.
Dude, if you ever
I
been
don't mind
snorkeling,
I've been snorkeling.
snorkeling is a kick in the nuts.
Oh, really?
It's work. Diving is no work.
That's good.
I mean, you're just down there cruising.
I just
around.
would be like stressed about like all the shit that's going on. That's just
Yeah.
like,
It's very little.
Yeah,
You can actually get a BC. Mine, when I was teaching, I had a very minimal in the front. So it was a backfill bladder in the back, and nothing was in the front. So I could, respond to students and do stuff, and didn't have to mess with anything.
Huh.
It's
Yeah.
not much.
You can get as
Well, if it's
minimal,
not much, I would
or
do
my
it.
cave rig is,
yeah.
it's like wearing a full kit in the military. You got all these D rings and shit on.
Yeah,
No, it's
if
pretty
it's not a
simple.
lot, then yeah, I'm fine.
I mean, at the end of it, all you have to do is just get down,
Yeah.
find your buoyancy, and then breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe smooth and clean, right? I mean, that's the whole concept, right?
Well,
It's
number
just-
one rule is never stop breathing.
Yeah.
Don't ever hold your breath. That's the number one rule.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
And then you just got to check the oxygen
yeah,
levels.
because
if
your
it
lungs.
goes-
I mean, if you come up and down, your lungs expand and contract. So
Yeah,
if
that's
you're breathing,
good.
you're constantly moving them at whatever depth you're at. So if you hold your breath and go up, you could
Correct.
potentially blow a lung.
Oh shit.
Which is
Yeah.
another reason why you don't shoot to the surface.
But there is that feeling when you get done with the dive. I don't know if you would agree with it, but when you get to, because I'm so inexperienced, when you kind of find that rhythm, you go in, you dive, you do your thing, but then when you come up for the safety stop and you've now come to peace with your buoyancy, and I mean obviously you have your buoyancy down stat immediately, but when you when you sit like you're sitting on a couch and you are not doing this up and down, and you just sit for those few minutes and you watch the bubbles go up, and you've got everything down to a rhythm of breathing, the buoyancy, and you just sit and relax. To me, that's the most.
Yeah, so when you have a good dive, if that makes sense. I mean, this is probably boring people that don't care about diving.
I don't care about. I care about the people.
But if you go on a dive and you don't have to do all this, where you're not doing this, right? Your buoyancy's in check, where you're not bouncing off the bottom, doing all this. You're not working too much and having to fidget with your gear and clear your mask every 10 seconds. I mean, you have a good clean dive where everything was just, you knew what you were doing. You could get down, clearing your ears was easy. Everything went smooth.
Why don't you just go spearfishing? Let's just do that.
Well, you do that free diving, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you do that with.
No, you do it with
You
you
can
can
do
do
it,
that
Spencer.
off the flower gardens with scuba gear.
Yeah, let's go do that.
they do lionfish kills down at the flower gardens.
That would be cool to have. with
Yeah.
lionfish, though. But yeah, those.
Yeah,
There's a lot like in Cozumel you can't. It's like a national forest.
Yeah,
All
you
there.
can't touch
you
any
can't
of that
even
stuff.
touch the reef. They don't.
Yeah.
So
I'm finning all the reef.
if the boat is inexperienced, they'll take you to a dive that's sand bottom, and then the reef is over here. And you,
'Cause we went to-
So then if you're bouncing
we
off
went
the
to
sand, you can
Cozumel.
look at the reef and not.
On one of the
Yep.
cruises.
Yep, we went to
Because
Cozumel.
that's what they told us when we were snorkeling. They're like, don't touch any of the reefs.
Yep.
And I think
Yep.
you pulled one of them up or something.
No. Out there.
I can't. Maybe some other kid was over there and he just pulled one of them up.
No, there was a time when we were down, and we were down with some pretty inexperienced divers, even more inexperienced than myself. And when we were down there, I was catching fins to the head. I mean, it was a whole deal. It was like go-karting with a bunch of tards, and they're just bumping into you like crazy. And it got to a point where I was just trying to get out. And I realized when I had made contact with the heel, with the reef, that I was probably blowing the thing up. But no, Cozumel, down there, like where we went, down by Holbox.
Yeah.
Where you were, Merida. That
Yeah.
has good diving. Like all of that strip of that Riviera Maya.
Yeah, because I think wasn't one of the cruise ships stopped in Cozumel, and that's where we
Exactly.
did it? Yeah.
Yep, we would. But you just stop fighting everything. Yeah. Hey, Dustin, I see you went with, it looks like International Scuba. Hey, why don't you see what kind of stuff you got for Dominican? Can you find anything for the Dominican?
International Scuba is a dive shop down by Addison Airport.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. They got a pool. They got a pool there and everything. It's good. It's a good shop.
We went to Scuba Toys off of 35, and Ale's rock fell off to her ring in the pool.
Shit.
Yep.
Bad day.
Shouldn't have got it from
Bad
the
day.
fucking quarter thing.
Those sound like expensive dive lessons there.
They were expensive dive lessons. She had this whole. We spent an hour. I mean, we got a lot of tanks worth of looking for this thing in the pool. She has this dream. She's like, "Oh, I know where it's at. Let's go." We go back, motherfucker. If it's not there, in the crack outside of the pool, sitting exactly where she dreamt it was, and she found it. It's like, oh, that saved me
a lot.
That was nice. Nice, you found it. Thanks.
I'm gonna go with
Jesus.
probably shouldn't dive with the ring on, but
Probably
That's what
should
we
have
learned.
insured it.
No, it was. No, I mean, it was fine, but there's that sentimental element
Yeah.
too. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's the rock, whatever. So, so JD's coming in saying his dive instructor was a mortician,
that's different.
and he used to
I'll
scare the
pass.
shit out of him, tell his jokes, and they weren't always funny.
I would pass.
Imagine that.
Yeah,
That's a select crowd that mortician jokes.
yeah, and that's kind of a win-win for him. If you don't make it, he kind
Yeah,
of
I would
cashes
question
in
the motive of that, you know. Yeah,
Got enough oxygen?
yeah.
Yeah, you're probably good. Yeah.
I did make all my students breathe their last breath underwater in the pool. Oh, it would turn their air off.
Really? Just to feel what that feels like?
Yeah, so
That
they know,
sounds
so they
very cynical when you say that. Yeah,
Well, I mean, you know,
I just
you're-
kind of like just kill them.
So I'd show up behind them, and I would turn their air off, and they didn't know because I was behind them, and I was like right there above their tank, and then you know you get a whole nother breath out of your line before it, and then they take that last breath, and you just need to know what it feels like,
Yeah.
and then you know the panic, you know, to see if I wanted to see what they would do, how they react. Do they immediately look for a buddy and give the out of air sign, or do they
Just
try to
go
shoot
up.
to the surface, or you know, just sort of gauging response,
And
and then
the-
I would just turn it right back on.
And the right response is looking for a buddy, telling him you need some
Right,
air,
right.
and buddy breathe out.
Even though they're only 4 feet, 5 feet from the surface, they could just shoot up. But that's, I mean, if you're at 50, 60 feet, that's not an option.
Yeah.
You need to find air. So I just kind of wanted to see. And yeah, it's kind of a dick move, I guess. It's not in the book. It's not required. But
That's part of the master
again, I
Uber
was
guru.
big on if you can fix your own problems underwater, you're going to be more comfortable. You're going to be a better diver. So I would
More confident
I would
with
create problems that weren't necessarily in the dive books to make people deal with their problems before they actually encountered the actual problem out in the world.
Yeah,
So
you
it
never
makes
know what to
sense.
do when you crap your pants until you crap your pants.
That's amen to that, brother. That was first dive I ever did. Jump in.
You crapped your pants?
No, first dive I ever jump in. Talk about solving problems and having real world problems. I had this cool set of goggles of this mask that had a camera in it, and I jump in. We go down. We get down to the reef. We're looking at it, and all of a sudden, it explodes. So moment one is me doing a mask. You know, I brought my other mask, so you got to take it off. You got to put it on. You got to clear it without kicking too much and getting back to the surface, because naturally you'll panic and kick to the surface.
Jeez.
Immediately, my eyes are closed. Well, there's this little peacock fish, and they go after earwax. So it just feels like somebody takes their pinky finger and just jams you in the ear hole. It's just whack, whack. This is minute one of my dive experience. Down, exploded mask, pull it, and I'm just getting attacked by this little
So did it explode going down, or did it explode on the drop?
No, so you do a walk off.
Oh, okay.
We went down and we got right down to it. I just planed out, just found my buoyancy, felt good, and it just went. And then it just started dumping water in the sides. I was like, damn it. And it was recording, and I thought I was going to have this cool video, and it was just like this moment of pulling and just trying to get this thing on. And I don't know if I left the mask, I can't remember. But I was just getting attacked in the ear hole by this fish. And when I finally put it on and I saw it, it looks like this. It looks like a rainbow version of this, and it's just.
Oh, the thing hitting you in the ear?
Yeah,
no,
right in the ear.
I know exactly what fish you're talking about.
Bastard, man. But you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I probably picked up
those
15
very
feet
well.
up this direction.
Yeah, that's just a response. When you're doing open waters, and whenever my students are doing a drill, whenever they would start to panic, I would grab their vests to not let them shoot up.
Ultimately,
you die here now.
Ultimately, the instructor, I do remember him grabbing me in the leg, because you don't realize your eyes are closed, so you can't see how much closer you're getting to the surface, and you're kind of panicking.
Yeah.
You're just, your heart rate's up, everything's happening. Now I just remember him grabbing
Mask
my leg.
clearing's a big one. I mean, if in the wintertime, or if it's cold water and you go down and you take your mask off for the first time and that cold water hits your face, that generates a moment.
Yeah.
So that's,
And
just breathe. Take a deep breath before you take it off, and exhale as you're taking it off, and then take another breath, put it back on, just breathe.
It's just how much seat time you need with that. Because what I didn't realize is, what I thought was cold water suits, they don't work by keeping water out. They work by letting water in, and then you make the water warm.
Wet suits do that.
Wet suits.
Yeah, dry suits are different. Dry suits don't let the water in.
So it gets real cold real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cold. You got to get in there and
Just let it happen.
you just get in there and let it fill up so you can. Cold water's miserable, man. That's the one thing I don't miss about diving, because all the time I was teaching, I would always have in the wintertime somebody that was going on a trip to Hawaii or whatever, and they needed to get certified. It's like, water's 50 degrees, and they still have to do their late. They got to get their open water stuff in. It's like, here we go.
It was like the cenotes that
Cold
went
ass
in.
water.
But you said you dove in cenotes.
Cenotes are awesome.
Yeah. That would
But
be
it's
cool.
Was it cold?
Yeah, it was
it's
70.
freezing
It's like
when I
70
went there.
degrees.
That's chilly water.
Which is
And it's all in a cave underground,
Yeah.
so it's just
And
there's no sun hitting it.
It's half fresh, half salt water too.
Yeah.
It's actually really cool diving.
God, that would be so beautiful because it's all caves underneath it, right? It just leads out to the ocean.
Yeah, so cenotes are a sea
the most
hole that hasn't caved in yet.
Yeah.
So you go through these tunnels.
One of these ones
and it
that
may be
I
a
had.
100-foot tunnel, and then there'll be a surface, and just like this little cave that hasn't caved in yet. There might be some holes where sunlight's beaming through, and there's like little bats up there, and then you go through this another tunnel, and you kind of do it again. And
Because you've been to some
really
of those,
cool.
right?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
You gotta do. That was so much fun. But it was the funny part was
Yeah,
when we first went to it because we got on this horse and buggy, and it's just a track, and they just literally just take you around, and your teeth are chattering and shit, and you're just watching this thing shit as you're running, and you're just like, when are we gonna get to this damn thing? But there's like 5 of them, so we got into one, and we just took a huge trip on.
He
all
took
of
a
them.
car.
Yeah, he took a car.
You took the budget version.
Yeah, we took the car to get to this place, but to get into the woods where it was, and we get there, and this guy just goes, "Okay, get in," and it's a fucking hole in the ground.
it is.
And I'm
They're
like-
little ponds, like not very
Yeah.
big. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
But this one was like, I'm glad I did it when I did, because at any moment these stairs are going to fall off this thing.
Really?
They're just rickety metal, and you just kind of go down like, okay, just hope that it doesn't fall. And I'm the biggest thing so obviously it held, but I got into one of them, and God, I think I have some pictures of them, but they were, we got into one of these, and it was just, get through this small little section area, I could barely fit through it, and then all of a sudden it just opens up into this huge cave. And it was that was the most fun by far.
Yeah, cenote diving is really cool.
JD coming in hot. So you're a instructor, master diver instructor.
Master diver trainer is technically the
retired. Do you know if you put up a blow up doll in the back of an SUV, it will jack the buoyancy up? Do you know that?
Well, yeah.
Depends on if it's an Amazon one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that the truth? You use blow up dolls in scuba?
Anything like balloons, you put balloons in there,
I mean,
and you
you
go down
could.
and come out. They'll, I mean, anything that can inflate and deflate, mess with buoyancy.
Brings us back to tits.
Also, but that's less awkward than
Tits.
having a blow up doll in your BC.
Well,
Yeah.
you get pulled over, they go, "What's that?" You go, "It's my
Your
buoyancy
buoyancy
doll."
is probably not what you're really worried about.
Yeah, your character and what everyone thinks of you. Oh, I didn't expect us to be talking about diving. Do you have a fair amount of dives?
Yeah, he's a diver.
Fair number, yeah.
Where would be the next place you go?
Honestly, I'd love to dive Hawaii. I've never been to
That'd be
Hawaii. I just think it would be, go out and do a night manta ray dive. I just think that'd be fun.
So I had a friend of mine that was in the Navy, doing the sketchy stuff in the Navy, and he said the Red Sea was one of the best places he's ever dove.
Really?
And at the time he was in the Navy, the Red Sea was not really diveable, but nowadays they have some commercial stuff out there, but that seems sketchy and cool at the same time. I mean,
Yeah.
you're in a not nice part of the world, but he said the Red Sea was, it's like a lot of it's untouched reef out there. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's almost devastating when you go to a place that you had a nice reef that's now just devastated because of fishing or tourism or whatever.
That's why in Cozumel they don't let you touch anything.
Yeah,
Because if everybody took a piece of reef for a souvenir or whatever, that
just disturb everything.
yeah, there's nothing left for the next person.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. But then you get up, you're relaxed, you got that cigar, you just. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is. If it's just peace, I don't know if you're just tired or what it is. But there is that
Little
zen.
I think it's that mix,
Yeah,
because
a little
your
both.
body's a little tired. Your mind
Diving
is
is a physical activity. I mean, it wears you out.
and at that point, you've been underwater. Your mind is kind of at peace.
Yeah, you just sort of, it's a resetting thing. Before I really started getting into all the teaching, none of my dives were pleasure dives. I was always working or whatever. But when you have a dive where I didn't have to do anything, when you get done, it's like a reset button almost, Because when you're under there is no phone and email, and nobody not even talking to you, All it is the sound of your breathing. And, I would listen to the sound of you breathing and him breathing, make sure he was breathing all their air out and all that. But it's just peaceful. It's quiet. It's calm.
E-haul.
Her call.
Yeah, I don't know if he's watching cops in there, but must have been watching
Must be
cops.
watching cops.
Guy got a cowboy hat and back full of sweat. He isn't watching this right now, but hopefully
He was, but I was probably not
yeah.
We'll tell him to now.
Yeah. No, it's you kind of work shit out that's bothering you too, because when I was underwater, especially after the wedding, we had our pastor who was going to marry us. The night of our rehearsal, just flake out on our wedding in Mexico. So I had my whole family in Mexico, and then via text, he's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna make it." What the fuck are you talking about? You're not gonna make it. But I remember being under the water, just having that flow, having that conversation with myself, with everything. And part of me resents that and is bitter about that. But then the real silver lining to it is she kind of works about very much like a cigar, right? There's a rhythm to it. There's a zen to it. It's just like a process. Just like
lighting a cigar, cutting, lighting, smoking a cigar, diving is a process. I mean, you got to put your stuff together, all your equipment hooked up and working, and get it on, get in the water. And when you're in the water,
like the shallow. That was a shallow one.
Man, that water is
That
so
way you just
clear.
walk in and then you can just
the
go
water's
across.
crystal clear.
You
Oh
can
my
see
God,
forever.
that is so crazy cool.
But I think there's a few that are on the other side, the other way. That was just when we were
Oh
going.
man, that water is so
It's
crystal clear.
fucking cold. But the one that was the coolest was there was one that you can jump off. This, I think it was like a 75-foot drop, and you could just jump in, and it goes hundreds of feet down. But I could swear there was something in the middle of that fucking thing that kept going up close to the surface, come back down, and nobody else saw it. And I thought I was just high. Because I was like, what is going on here? There's nobody's seeing this, but it looked like just a giant eel just going straight up and down. It was driving me nuts. So I just stayed away
Yeah,
from the
I
side.
never saw anything in the water on my cenote dive.
I've never seen anything in one.
Yeah,
It's half fresh and half salt water.
yeah.
So it's kind of, and it's weird. There's a point where the fresh water sits on top of the salt water, and it's like looks like the surface of the water, like you're not in the water yet.
Right.
And then when you get down at that line, it looks like oil and water. It's a little foggy, and then you get a foot below it, and it clears up again. It's really kind of a weird sensation. It's really cool.
Wow.
We had that in Cuba too. They had at the old yacht club in Cuba. There was a river that flowed in, and they just filled it all with dirt. And so when you're just swimming along, cruising, and then all of a sudden you just can't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's where the fresh water from the river is still pushing through the sand and rock.
Wow.
So it's kind of cool to see, out there you would go from a brackish environment with totally different fish, and 30 feet away you've got just straight salt water with octopus and all this.
Shout out to hole.
What do you got here?
That's the hole where they go. I wasn't really excited about getting in.
Yeah, you don't look excited. That's a sketchy Mexican looking
Yeah.
little.
And then when
okay,
you-
go ahead and jump in.
When you get into that,
you
then it's
first,
the
buddy.
ladder. It's so you remember what was the Nicolas Cage movie when he had like the Declaration?
Ghost Rider.
No, the Declaration of Independence when he has to get the map.
Gone in 60 seconds.
National Treasure. So Gone in 60 seconds. Remember when they're like in the old thing and it's like they're standing on shit and it's falling apart?
No.
You know?
Nicolas Cage can S-my-C.
He's a car collector. He's cool.
Ah,
But he there's like a section where they're
It's not
like
raising
all the
your
shit's
stone
falling
on the
apart. Looks exactly like it. And I went, nope, I've seen this movie. I changed a different hue.
from white to white.
I was like, yeah, they didn't design this for a 6'4" white guy that's 275 pounds.
They
So
haven't seen a 6'4" white guy that's 270 pounds.
If they've seen a Sasquatch, it's different. But
I don't know.
I don't think-
I don't think they have it. Do they have it in
Too
Mexico?
tropical for Sasquatch.
Yeah,
Too hot.
I don't think that's a Squatchy area. I don't believe the Mexicans believe in Sasquatch.
they believe in a lot of shit. But
Yeah.
There are stories?
Yeah, mostly Yucatan.
Really?
which is where
I mean, I've seen some of the locals. They look Squatchy.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
especially some of the women.
all women.
you got like that. Talk about
Not
that
all of them,
catfish
but I mean,
fish we were
like all
talking
of
about.
them, like in some
The
areas.
catfish you swam with was probably Yucatan. Jeez. She's them. They got big heads.
Oh, if I knew we were talking about Mexico, I would have brought that whistle that I got from there.
Next week, check out the whistle. You got a whistle?
Well, when we went and did that trip, there was a Jaguar whistle that these guys handmade. I showed you that one.
Yeah.
It's all made of wood, but it looks like a Jaguar, and then when you blow into it, it sounds like a Jaguar call. And it's dope. And I was like, how much? I was like, how much is that? And they're like, $20, and which is really expensive for Mexico. But I was like, yeah, I gotta have that.
That's a gotta have it. Yeah.
For you, $20.
But you can only get it in that space, and I was like, that's pretty cool. It's the Mayan, what do they call it?
Chichen Itza?
Yeah, it's the Chichen Itza, the Mayan pyramids.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I remember.
I thought there was an actual live Jaguar when I pulled up and I hear the sound and I go, "What the fuck was that?" And then I see the guy fucking blowing
Sounds
this
of the
whistle.
jungle.
So there's a place outside Guadalajara that you go mountain biking. In the first 48 minutes is the record. 48 minutes is uphill. So it's like 2,000 feet that you're riding up. And then they give you like 2 minutes of downhill, which is fun. That you just rode all day to get up. And you're riding up and up and up. But by the time you get to the bottom, they have a lot of what we call baby heads, which are just big rocks that are super dangerous to ride over on a bike. You get down to the end of it. We get to the end. And they're like, okay, cool, well, let's ride back. And I was like, the fuck are you talking about? Let's ride back. That was what we rode up here for. And we start making the turn. We start riding our way back up. And I can see hill, and there are these big, high walls that kind of go up naturally. We're in this valley on this road riding up. And I was like, how long is this climb? I don't know, it's about like the last one. Another 40 minutes, uphill, riding, slow. You're dogged out, you're tired, right? You've already burned 2,000 calories. And I look down and I'm seeing all this stuff, and I kind of ride. I'm like, hey, Diego, what kind of animals are here? He's like, oh, we've got lots of cows and stuff, and deer and stuff. What about a puma? Like, oh yes, there are many pumas in here. Because I just saw puma paws. And if there's a place where a puma attacks anything, it's up on the height. People who are
down on you,
going 2 miles an hour, and absolutely going to attack you.
Yeah, it's easy feeding for a puma.
It's perfect feeding for a puma. You're miles away from anyone.
Did you then look at him and go, you're an asshole?
Oh, I'm not a fan of riding in Mexico, is all I'm going to say.
Unless you have a gun.
They don't even allow guns. 7 years in prison.
Dustin said Con Air.
Con Air.
All right, Mark Rogers, Aliens, where do you stand?
Nope.
Hard no?
Yeah.
Anywhere in the universe.
Show me one.
All right.
That's fair.
Nate?
Have you seen Signs?
Mel Gibson, dog.
Man, Mel Gibson. I'm going to say no, though.
You're saying no?
Yeah.
Anywhere in the universe.
God, we don't see him now. Like,
There are more stars in the universe than there are grains of sand on the planet Earth.
that is true.
And there's not any alien.
I haven't seen it. I'm the same. I got to see it.
Ale has a green card
Now,
with
to
an
be
alien
fair,
number on.
like,
No aliens?
Ollie was an alien at one point.
She still is by the United States government. Haven't you seen Men in Black? They're amongst us.
They're amongst us.
Aliens?
I have no idea.
Oh, what we know about Sasquatch.
Well, it's a different genre, like we were talking about earlier.
Exactly.
Aliens and Sasquatch are not
depends on-
Sasquatch.
Amsquatch,
It
Ricky.
depends on who you ask.
That's true.
See, that's the thing is, I would have anticipated someone who does believe in Sasquatch to also believe in aliens.
I'm not a Sasquatch believer either until I see one, but I would think a Sasquatch is of this planet,
Oh, yeah.
not an alien. So if they do exist, they've been here and they're from here, you know.
Pop's coming in right on time.
I know.
But you haven't seen that documentary. It's got Jack Black in it. It's Jack Nicholson or Jack Nicholas.
Any jack will do.
Jack.
It's the
Jack Nicholson
non-golfer.
or Jack Nicholas?
Jack Nicholas.
The golfer? That's Nicholas.
Whichever one.
No, Nicholas.
Whichever one. It's the documentary. It's an alien documentary. It's like it's Mars Attack.
Mars Attack.
Mars Attack. You haven't seen it?
Oh shit! I was just about to say.
You haven't seen it? They even got their own language. Knock 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 knock. You haven't seen it?
It also has Jim Brown in it. So
Don't know who that is.
Doesn't sound like a
Jim Brown
documentary.
No.
you remember the guy that was the boxer in that movie?
Yep.
He was supposed to be the first black guy to get the Heisman Trophy, and then the gentleman after him got it.
Really?
Yeah.
Bo Jackson? I don't know. I don't know football that
I
good.
can't remember what his name was. I forget, but yeah, that was. But then he became an actor. Yeah, so that happened. By the way,
It did happen.
this is what happens when I drink. I get
Yeah,
more
no,
knowledge.
we need to have this
useless
more.
information.
What do you know about Simple Jack, though? Dustin just comes in and just says, "Simple Jack, Ben Still." I don't know what...
You know what
any
that
of
is?
means.
Tropical.
I know, but
Oh.
where does that fit into this conversation?
Nothing at all. It's a Dustin thing. It just
It's
a
he's
Jack.
drunk too.
Oh, it is a Jack. Simple Jack. Simple Jack Nicholson.
That's fair. Simple Jack Nicholson. Who the fuck is Jack Nicholson?
What do you think? Should
I
we end this
tattooed
thing,
these
or
eyes.
should we keep going, or...
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Well, you drink all the whiskey.
Yeah, and the iPad died.
What did you need
Oh,
the
we
iPad
got-
for?
We got Simple, because that's our confidence monitor. So we know when people are putting stuff in, but we also have this, so...
No.
I mean, I would be... Is anyone still watching this thing? Yeah, there's still fucking idiots watching. What's up, Pops?
That's all who's watching it?
I mean, Pops is watching.
Dustin,
Dustin's
obviously.
in. Yeah. I mean, truly, if you build it, they will come. Gone in 60 seconds.
Is that what the quote is?
Yeah, that's where it's from.
That was kind of a Michael Scott moment. Quote by Michael Scott, and then the Wayne Gretzky.
Okay, so a little bit of cigar funny that works with that. We were redeveloping the Crux website. We started looking around. What's everyone else do? If you go to, I don't know if it's still this way, but if you go to Eric Espinoza, whom I respect dearly and I think he's awesome, you land on the website, and the first quote is this: "If you enjoy what you're doing, you never work a day in your life." Quote, Eric Espinoza. So we ran through all of that, and then so we started putting in things like, one small step for man, one, whatever.
One step for
Eric
man.
Espinoza. So from here on out, anything that you quote, just make it Espinoza. Eric Hall, he's out.
He was here for a second and dropped out.
Yeah, he's out. This is getting weird. I'm out.
He's been here all day. He knows where we're at.
Yeah, that's it. All right, well, let's end this thing, I guess.
You missed 100% of the shots you don't take.
Michael Scott.
Vis-a-vis Eric Espinoza. Yeah.
Vis-a-vis
All right.
Wayne
Well,
Gretzky.
thanks for being in. Thank you for joining us for Dive Talk Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it went there.
Nice.
All right. Well, that's everything. So
Well,
go on with
that's
your
fine.
lives. We're gonna keep doing this.
Happy New Year.
Hallelujah!
Cigar time.
Peace out, homies. That was quality content. Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
Have you seen Strange Wilderness?
No.
Oh, God.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Yeah, he's definitely seen it.
I don't know if you dig it or not.
Strange Wilderness?
Yeah.
It's broken.
But they search for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
They do.
And they find Bigfoot.
But they have to search for Bigfoot to save their TV show. Like, they're a wilderness show.
Yeah, it's a failing wilderness show run by a
It's-
bunch of renegades. and
It's a
they're-
washed up son that their dad used to have a very well known show and his son took it over.
Yeah, imagine like David Attenborough had a son that was a absolute stoner and then decided to take this deal and try to save it. Strange Wilderness. Shard. All of that stuff.
Cooker! I told you to put the stuff in the van. Yeah, it's already in there.